I'm losing all my food stamps. Basically, my car is about to probably be taken next month. So I just got a notification from DSHS that they're going to be giving me $275 to feed me and my 2 kids. You know, I have chronic medical conditions. I've worked my ass off to try to succeed on TikTok and a plethora of other things. I have a billion different certificates. I have education. I have training. I have a lot of success under my belt, but I'm not, I'm fucking tired. I'm tired, and I've got chronic medical conditions, and I can't afford to feed my kids, and I'm 2 months behind on my credit card bills, and I'm not gonna be able to afford my car payment, like for sure, definitely, next month. So that's where we're at.
Trump has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay. I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not, if he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country, because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all shit.
The school district, I only get paid once a month. By the time I get my bills paid, I have nothing left to pay for food and other basic needs. If it wasn't for SNAP benefits, I wouldn't be able to feed my children or myself. I work, pay my bills, and like every other mom, I want to be sure that I have enough food to put on the table.
You're telling me my tax dollars got you this big? Last thing you need to be worried about is having enough food.
Many of Trump voters, they cheered and supported cuts to government programs, believing that those cuts would only affect someone else. But now they're learning that policies don't care who you supported. When cuts to benefits are made, the consequences reach everybody who depend on them. So let's have a look. Please like and hype the video and appreciate your support, all right? Let's get into it.
I'm 65 years old. I'm legally blind. I'm on disability. I went to my doc and I lost 28 pounds in the last year. I did not need to lose 28 pounds. I did not try to lose 28 pounds. I lost the 28 pounds because I cannot afford to eat anymore. Now, with grocery prices so high, propane, electricity out of this world, I now only allow myself $65 a month for food.
Sharon, are you on SNAP benefits?
Let me tell you, under Joe Biden, I received $80 a month for SNAP. That was taken away from me under Donald Trump. He took it away. He gave me $24 a month. I did receive that for a couple of months. Then he took it down to $12.50 a month. I said, screw you. So I'm not doing that no more. So now I get $65 a month, Mimi. And for them people out there, all these Republicans that are doing so flippin' well right now, I have 3 potatoes. I have a half a tomato. I have 3 bananas, 1 apple, 1 can of soup, a half a loaf of bread, 1 egg, and 1 can of green beans. I do not get paid until the 3rd. I am disability blind. I cannot drive a car. I'm 15 miles out of town, so I am not able to just, trot my butt down to the food shelf. I used to volunteer at the food shelf. I can't even do that anymore. I don't understand. I'd like somebody to explain to me, why is it always the poor people that are helping the poor people? I don't understand.
Conservatives losing their SNAP benefits are just getting what's coming to them for voting for Donald Trump. This is exactly what you wanted. Now you get what you deserve.
There is absolutely nothing that MAGA folks won't blame on people of color. Not because folks of color are actually to blame for any of those things, but because it's all MAGA knows. If you're out of work, must be because an immigrant of color or a black person took your job. If your taxes are too high, it must be because of welfare payments going to those people. Never mind the contradiction of saying that they take all the jobs, but also take none of the jobs because they're too busy relying on welfare rather than working. It can't be both, guys. You got to pick a lane, right? Kid didn't get into the college you wanted? Well, must be because a person of color got preferential treatment and stole their slot, even though the Supreme Court has essentially ended race-based affirmative action. You can't afford a home? Well, it must be because immigrants are taking all the homes and driving up the cost. Forget for a minute that they're also the ones building most of the homes, thereby driving down the cost, but, whatever. Scared of crime? Well, it must be because black and brown folks and migrants are making the cities unsafe. Forget for a minute that crime has actually dropped, even as immigration has gone up, and immigrants have lower crime rates than American citizens, but, whatever. When the pandemic hit, that was the fault of Asians, people of color, and their open air markets. When a door flew off a plane a couple years ago, Elon blamed it on a DEI program for pilots. And when a barge brought down a bridge in Baltimore, the right blamed it on the DEI mayor, which is just their new word for the N-word. To MAGA, white folks are never to blame for anything. Black and brown folks are to blame for everything. Why? Because MAGA is a racist cult. If your answer for every problem in America is people of color, you're a racist by definition. If your answer is Jews, you're a Nazi. And in either case, you deserve to be crushed utterly and without pity or mercy.
Nearly half of Arizona families receiving SNAP benefits have disappeared from the system in less than a year. And no, that does not mean hunger suddenly disappeared in Arizona. It means people are getting cut off while the state struggles with a massive backlog and new federal restrictions. Arizona is experiencing the largest drop in SNAP participation in the entire country, and thousands of families are now scrambling just to feed their children because apparently surviving inflation now also requires surviving government paperwork roulette. So according to recent reporting, Arizona went from more than 455,000 families receiving these benefits last July to just over 235,000 families in April of this year. That's nearly a 50% drop. We are talking about parents skipping meals, children losing food access, and families sitting in bureaucratic limbo for months while trying to survive rising grocery prices, rent increases, and an unstable job market. One Arizona mother told reporters she's been submitting paperwork since August and still cannot get benefits restored while caring for children with a life-threatening blood disorder. The Arizona Department of Economic Security says part of the problem is a massive backlog tied to new federal SNAP requirements, outdated technology, staffing issues, and stricter eligibility rules implemented after changes from the Trump administration last year. So those changes expanded work requirements and removed exemptions that previously protected some residents in Maricopa County. Certain immigrant groups also lost eligibility entirely under the new federal changes. And what makes this especially concerning is that advocacy groups and policy researchers say the drop is far too large to simply be explained by people no longer needing help. Arizona's unemployment rate has not suddenly collapsed. Grocery prices are still high. Families are still struggling. Researchers with the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities warned that Arizona's decline far exceeds national trends and may reflect eligible families losing access because of paperwork barriers, processing delays, and administrative failures. And that matters because food insecurity is not just a hunger issue, it's a healthcare issue too. Children experiencing food insecurity face worse long-term health outcomes, chronic stress, developmental issues, and higher rates of hospitalization. Families under this level of financial strain often delay medical care, and then they ration their meds or end up in crisis systems that cost far more than prevention ever would. If nearly half your recipients disappear while demand remains high, that is not evidence the crisis solved. It's evidence that the system is becoming harder to survive.
SNAP benefits used to help a lot of Americans, like the single mothers who are still working hard but couldn't afford enough groceries to cover through the entire month. It is a senior citizen who worked hard, paid taxes, contributed to society, but couldn't afford enough food after retirement. It is a veteran who served the country but still find themselves struggling to afford basic food. It is a veteran who served the country but now need help to put food on the table. It is a low-income earners who work long hours but still their paycheck is not enough to cover food, Many MAGA voters were told social programs was just a wasteful spending, helping minorities, Black and brown people, while it was a lifeline for millions of ordinary Americans, Many supported those cuts because they believed they could never need those programs, but they forget it could be their friend, their co-workers, their neighbors, or their family who are doing everything right but still struggling to put food on the table. Don't support policies based on who should suffer, because tables do turn quickly. Today could be someone else's family, and tomorrow it could be yours. That's why compassion do matter, and informed voting matters too. Because in the end, food assistance is not about Democrat or even Republican. It's a basic human right. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.